And 3, 2. Welcome back to the 100 Millionaires Podcast. My name is Walter Amarello. We're here on a mission to build 100 millionaires who inspire to build 100 millionaires. Michael Shine, bring us in.
Passive income from passive income. Big week for me. So cool.
And Mitch Shorsky, how do we do it?
We organize and collect, and that is why we do the 100 Millionaire Summit.
Every year. So October 21st to the 23rd, the 100 Millionaire Summit is going to be bringing in some of the biggest influencers in the real estate space, in the crypto space, to help you get yourself to the next level. I'll be there. And in fact, we brought a guest on today who's got an airdrop coming. If you don't know what airdrops are, it's time to go start Googling. And I'm sure Mitch will probably explain a little bit. But Mitch, can you introduce us to Cal? Let us know who he is, why he's here, and what kind of opportunity we have to make money this week with what's coming.
For sure. So Cal is the founder of LeoFinance.io, which is a financial-based blogging site, for lack of a better term, that runs on the Hive blockchain. So Web 3.0, where you can learn and earn. And from that spawned some other creative projects in the DeFi world, one of which is Cub Finance, where you can stake and earn yield on your crypto. And now he's leveling up again and launching another DeFi site on the Polygon blockchain called Polycub. And that is what we are here to talk about today.
So Cal, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so normally we just bounce ideas on this platform. We're just like, hey, you know, what are you doing to make money? And we all agreed before you even jumped onto this, we're making money in crypto this week. So tell us a little bit about what is LeoFinance and what made you decide to go and build this this platform?
Yeah. So LeoFinance has kind of become its own, like a monster on its own. It started as an idea to create basically a seeking alpha for the crypto space, a decentralized seeking alpha, and it's kind of evolved in this this new thing, and it's just it's taken on this kind of expansionary kind of core in terms of migrating other blockchains, building new apps like Polycub and Cub. And if you go to the docs, the white paper for LeoFinance, it kind of describes it well, which is the vision is to create a Web3 ecosystem that is constantly expanding. It's like the edge of the universe. It's always expanding. It never stops, and it'll encompass everything one day.
Awesome. I like it. I like the fact that it's going to encompass everything one day, and Leo's kind of like the center because it educates, right? And then the other segments that have come out almost act like a bridge to different blockchains. Like Binance is one that I never had access to until you went and created Cub Finance. Then it gave us a way to get onto the Binance blockchain, and now you're doing the same thing with Polycub. What is?
Yeah, I love that too. The part that if people are listening to this, they got to get is that it is ever expanding, because I've been in this thing for over a year now, and every time we talk to Cal, there's some new idea or new concept, so something coming through. So it's just awesome, and it's really awesome that we know you too, Cal. So that's cool.
Yes. It goes a long way, because Mitch will every so often, say, hey man, I was on the AMA today. There's something coming. LeoFinance is now running this new platform, and the new platform is Cub DeFi. And this was about a year ago, or maybe less than that. And then once Cub DeFi came out, like we just got inundated on Leo with all this information about what DeFi is in the first place. And it's not just like Cal sharing his knowledge or Mitch sharing his knowledge. Like LeoFinance has hundreds of content creators who are doing their own research and figuring it out. So by the time it actually dropped, because all it was Cal saying, hey, it's coming. This is kind of a little bit of an idea of what's happening. We ended up having a lot of information about like how all these DeFi platforms work, what the potential loss would be if a pool was going up or down. What was it called? Impermanent loss. Like
Loss.
Right.
There was so much education around DeFi coming out before Cal had actually dropped it. And Cal, you do a lot of research yourself. Like you're jumping on all sorts of different platforms like Thornchain, Matic. Like, how do you find the time to jump into all these different platforms?
Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely to the credit of the community. Like if you look at Thorchain, that was brought to me from people in the community like Shanghai-preneur, JK6276, Neil McSpadden, people like that, find the ideas and they start talking about them on Leo. And I pretty much read every post. I'm not sitting there and opening it like a book and reading through every word, but I'm scrolling through the feeds. I'm looking at all the posts. I'm looking at the comments. I probably actually spend most of my time in the comments on Leo, and that's really where I see most of the ideas. And then I'm like, oh, this ThorChain thing seems interesting, and then I look into it. I'm like, this is a revolutionary platform, and that was back when ThorChain was like 12 cents, and no one knew about it. But people in the community found it. Like you said, there's hundreds of content creators, and they're digging up things in crypto, 24/7, 365, because they're all over the world. So if you if you just pay attention to what they're talking about, and then kind of get curious and Google it and go on Twitter and look into these projects a little bit, you can basically find the best ideas on Leo. And obviously that's a biased take, but it's also a real take, because that's I'd say majority of my profits in crypto have been from trading on things I learned on Leo. So ThorChain, I think, has been one of my, probably even better than Bitcoin for me in terms of investments. So finding ideas through the community is really everything. So it's on my part, the benefit to myself is just curiosity, but it really is on the Leo community's part for researching things and bringing them up.
It's cool because the debates that occur, because it's not just one person saying, hey, I like ThorChain, go buy it. You get people coming in and they will live just go and attack the coin if it is a shit coin. If it ends up being something that's not going to work out, you'll know very quickly, because like you said, the comments reveal.
The ultimate review board.
It's the ultimate review board. And then if the post keeps coming out from different users that have gone and done the research, now they there may be something relevant there. But if it's getting downvoted, or there's like the comments are just bashing the coin because of legitimate reasons, they've done the research. It's like having your own research and development team. Like they're out there just constantly looking, and then all you have to do is validate a little bit, and then you've got something to work with. So ThorChain I know is coming, but what pulled you into Matic? What got you into the Polygon arena? Because that's obviously after BNB. You came into Polygon and you made that decision instead of going into something else.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting, actually. The way I got into Polygon was through another person on Leo. And the way I got into it was kind of funny, because they invited me into like this private, it's called a sniping group, which is what he had. And he had built this bot that sniped launches. So if you go back to like the beginning of Polygon and when it all, kind of exploded, which was sometime in 2021, I don't remember when, there were all these different launches that were happening. There was like Dino Swap, Ape Rocket, just a like thousands of these new apps that started popping up. And naturally, people want to capitalize on those launches. So this guy named Mike, actually, he was a Leo community member. He never wrote any content, but he was like the ultimate lurker, right? He had an account and he just kind of read posts and stuff. And he reached out to me and he said, I've got this sniping bot, and it needs some capital if you want to jump in and start using it. I was like, I'll try it. So the snipes that he had were actually on Polygon. So I was like, okay, I guess I got to learn Polygon now. And I basically just started on MetaMask like everybody else, just started playing around with Polygon, and then we had our first snipe go through, and then second, third, fourth, and it was going really well. Our best snipe was Dino Swap. It crushed it. I think it made it was like a 6x. It was crazy. So Dino Swap was huge, and then all these other launches on Polygon. And then eventually sniping got overtaken by superior bots. So if you looked into it, there were big funds starting to move into the sniping space, and they kind of pushed us out, with their hundreds of millions of dollars. So, sniping isn't what it used to be, but that's really how I found Polygon, which is just kind of an interesting way to find something. But again, all stemming from Leo. I do think it's a really biased take, and a lot of people may not believe it, but pretty much everything I find out about comes from Leo.
I'm the same way though. Like we may be biased because you built it, you started it, but the truth is the way it's set up, there's nothing else like it that can evaluate anything, because it's based on getting the audience to recognize truth, right? Like if your followers are seeing truth, they're going to vote for you. So you're actually getting paid for creating good quality content. And if anybody's finding that your content is garbage, you're going to get downvotes, or you're going to get no votes whatsoever. They're just going to ignore it. And so it never gets bumped up into the top spots. So the product that comes out that is the highest truth ends up like riding the top for a long time, until the bigger influencers who are, really promoting it and pushing it, the bigger stakeholders are saying, yeah, this one, if you get like a vote from Neil McSpadden, right? Leo Alpha, like people are like, okay, I'm going to go read that. It gets a little bit more value behind it. And Neil is cautious with his votes. He doesn't upvote just anything. And I think all of us are kind of, cautious. Like I upvote people who clearly market my programs. So very biased, right?
Yeah.
That's a bias, Cal. Like LeoFinance, not a bias.
Well, you also power of community, right? So, it's not like there's plenty of good crypto communities out there, right? But LeoFinance is a solid one because you have people that generally enjoy investing in crypto. Like, so just that aspect, you're going to have essentially kind of going back to the whole seeking alpha thing, people that are doing research because they like that investment and they enjoy doing the research and they're sharing that with people, right? And then you have a bunch of people doing that, and then more eyeballs looking at it. And then in the comments, you have, like you said, that kind of review board of people like battling on whether they like it, don't like it. So I think that's the power of the
Twitter.
community.
Like these guys are actual bloggers, right? Like, so like they actually go in and write in blog format that actually gives like real information. So you're not just getting like an opinion, you're getting like backed up, like here's legitimate information. Here's how you log in. Here's how you like go and do these cross-chain moves.
Yeah, it's been invaluable for my daughter. So she's a total noob and has no money. So, you say, go to this place, take a look, you can actually earn crypto. And she's just been all over it because she's learning from all the different people. I love telling people about it because of what it does for newbies. It's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, every so often I'll jump into something that Cal promotes or Mitch promotes. It's like, hey, I'm giving 100 Leo away. I'm like, well, I'll stack 100 Leo to it. Mitch will stack 100 Leo to it. Let's go. And I know Mike's jumped in on those. So like giving out like free stuff, which by the way, anybody who wants something for free, you're gonna want to hang on to these next few minutes. Mitch, can you explain what an airdrop is after? Well, before Cal talks about the airdrop that's coming for Polycub and what's coming out. Can you just let any crypto newbie who's never, heard of airdrop or knows what it is, what is an airdrop and why are they so valuable for crypto investors?
Yeah, I mean, layman's terms is basically it is essentially getting a reward for holding something. So if you hold a certain crypto token, and in this case, it would be Cub, what's going to happen is when a new project launches, what generally occurs is the founders will airdrop the new token to holders of their native token as basically a reward for, investing in their project and holding their project and being loyal to their project. So when that happens, essentially that new token comes out, they release X amount of tokens and they'll airdrop a percentage to people based on the amount you hold of their native token. So for this, people holding Cub are going to receive Polycub, and it's going to be based on a percentage of what they hold and what they have staked. So it's, in a way, it's almost like a loyalty reward. And in another way, it's sort of like free money. But that's why everyone loves airdrops. So that's a basic functionality of it. Obviously, there can be more mechanics in terms of how that airdrop works, whether it's a single day airdrop, whether it's spread out over a couple months. But in the end, hold a token and
I like free money.
Get some free money on the new projects.
I also look at it as free money, maybe as reward for being a holder of a token. But Cal, if you could break down the mechanics of this airdrop, because Mitch alluded to the fact that some are like, it's a snapshot of this day. Whoever's holding this much of this token on this day gets X amount return. But then there could be, delays in it. It could be extended over time, like we've seen on Splinterlands. So what is the setup for the Polycub airdrop, and how could somebody, well, I'll say this afterwards, but I want to say, how can somebody get into the best position, but we'll talk about that afterwards.
Yeah. So the airdrop is interesting because, there's definitely a lot of ways you can do an airdrop. If you go back to the biggest airdrop that kind of kicked off the airdrop mania, it was called Uniswap, and they airdropped the Uni token on people that had swapped or provided liquidity on their platform. And they did kind of a sneaky airdrop because they didn't announce it beforehand, but people obviously speculated, and then a couple people knew that it was going to happen, so they created all sorts of MetaMask accounts and traded and swapped and provided liquidity so they could maximize their airdrop. So that you've got like the sneaky airdrop, and that's kind of what Uniswap did. Then you've got all sorts of other airdrops where people say you got to hold this NFT to get another NFT, or they say you got to have you have to have this much staked and then you'll get this much airdrop. There's all sorts of airdrop mechanics out there. What we did is very similar to Splinterlands. It's actually the same contract that they used for their airdrop, which takes the entire pool of tokens that we're airdropping. So with Polycub, it's 1 million Polycub, and obviously the starting price of Polycub is at $1, so it's $1 million, and it's being airdropped onto the Cub community. And the Cub community, we launched Cub back in March 2021, so it's been almost a year. So it's kind of poetic because it's like a year anniversary. If you've been holding Cub and stacking it up, you've basically been positioning yourself to get this airdrop, and it's going to be super interesting because instead of just doing this one-time airdrop where it airdrops, the coin pumps and dumps because everyone gets the airdrop on airdrop day and then sells it right after. Instead of doing that, you incentivize the long-term holders by saying you're going to get the airdrop, but you're going to get it over 60 days. And every single day throughout those 60 days, your balance is going to get re-snapshotted. So what that means is on day one, if you got 10,000 Cubs staked, then you're going to get 10,000 Cub worth of the airdrop. If you stake another 5,000 Cub by day two, then you're going to get 15,000 Cub worth of the airdrop. And then if on day three you sell half your Cub and now you've got 7,500, you'll get 7,500 Cub worth of the airdrop on day three, and that'll last for 60 days. So it incentivizes people who stick with it for 60 days, as opposed to the quick jump in, jump out.
Have you
and the staking rates on Cub are pretty enormous.
Sorry, have you seen this work before? I think Mitch mentioned something with Splinterlands, but I just.
Yeah. So with Splinterlands, it's actually worked incredibly well. Their entire project has probably, Neil McSpadden would know the numbers better than I do, but they've probably 10x their entire project off of their airdrop, which was done, I don't know how long ago. I think it started maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and they actually had a 365-day airdrop. So their airdrop is still ongoing. And
wow.
If you look at the growth of their project in terms of users and capital flowing in and just overall value, their version of total value locked is the total market value of all the cards, because it's an NFT blockchain game. And if you look at that, it just skyrocketed with that launch.
So
I still am on Splinterlands. I am part of the coin airdrop. Go ahead, Mike.
Sorry, Walter. Just a follow up to that. Why did you choose 60 days then? Like, why not 365 days?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of interesting things for that. The main reason for me is that, with DeFi and the way that DeFi platforms work, everything's moving a lot faster than something like even an NFT project. So I didn't want to prolong the airdrop for a whole year. I've also been watching what Splinterlands has done pretty closely with their airdrop. And I do think, in my personal opinion, I think it's a little too long. A year in crypto is like 100 years in real life. Right. So like if you go back a year ago, Cub didn't even exist. Leo was only on one block, or actually on 2 blockchains if you count on Uniswap. And now we're on 3 blockchains, about to be 4. And this is all done in a year's time. So a year in crypto is forever. So 60 days is more like, that's more like a year in real life. Nice. So for me, 60 days makes more sense. And then also, provided everything goes according to plan, we'll have other launches that are, we don't want to overlap our launches basically. So
Yeah.
Nice.
60 days seems more viable.
More
to me.
launches coming. More
launches coming, more
So
airdrops
exciting.
coming.
Yeah. Well,
More
interesting point
blockchains.
off of that is in our last AMA that we did, I was talking to Mitch and Neil about, this idea I have where Cub is kind of like colonizing all these different planets. And you consider that each planet is like a new blockchain, right? So, the idea is that you could take something like Polycub and we can copy paste it onto other blockchains and create little self-sustaining bases. So Mike, you're gonna love that because it's an Elon Musk idea. So it's like, you can create these self-sustaining
Awesome.
colonies on these other planets, and all those colonies are versions of Cub that basically live and disseminate into the multi-blockchain universe. And what you do is you pay it all back to Cub by doing airdrops for each of those colonies. And the way that Polycub was designed is it's completely designed to be self-sustaining. And what I was talking about in AMA is that I wanted it to be, I've built these mechanics and I've been working on it since July, so like 6 or 7 months. And I designed everything to be self-sustaining and to grow itself with protocol and liquidity. So, provided that it all works out, you're going to see Polycub, iterations on every single blockchain that's out there.
That's cool. So that actually explains a lot of what this roadmap is. And it's almost like having a central government that's saying, we're going to create this for you to send a little bit back to Cub. And the winners, the people who win are the people who are holding the Cub token itself. They're earning to Cub and holding Cub. It becomes more of, you're getting more of that utility, whereas the other platforms are burning Cub even though they're producing it.
Is it Cub that benefits, or is it Polycub? Because it sounded like you said that
Polycub.
P-Cub's going to be the one that goes out.
Well, it's interesting because if you go back to the Cub roadmap, actually the same docs that were written when Cub was first launched a year ago, the line that makes the most sense, which is the vision for Cub, was that it's the base layer of the DeFi stack for LeoFinance. And LeoFinance, as this Web3 ecosystem, has a DeFi stack, and that begins with Cub. And then as we build that stack, you've got Cub, then you've got Polycub, and then you have something, for example, like Terra Cub, Avalanche Cub, all these other iterations of Cub. So what we're doing basically is using Cub as the base layer of that stack. And then the design that I created for Polycub is going to be basically cloned on all sorts of different blockchains. So it's almost like, if you take that Elon Musk example and you say, well, he's built the BFR, the big Falcon rocket. And, he takes this model for
Falcon.
a rocket.
Falcon.
Yeah, Falcon. He takes this rocket and he uses the same rocket to colonize, 10 different planets. It's kind of like that idea where you've got the same Polycub platform, but you relaunch it onto all these different blockchains.
Gotcha.
And they're all kind of connected to the home base, and that home base is Cub. So Cub benefits by being the benefactor of the airdrops. And then Polycub and all the Polycub, sister apps are self-sustaining bases where they have their own token, they have their own platform mechanics, and they're all kind of self-sustaining on their own. And they don't need to rely on the home base for anything other than their initial launch and obviously paying it back with the airdrop.
Amazing.
Very cool.
So we talked about airdrop. Obviously, we talked about kind of the ecosystem that's being built, and obviously LeoFinance a little bit. But for those people that have maybe just heard the name Cub DeFi or Polycub, but they don't even know what that is. So what exactly is Cub DeFi?
Yeah, and then more importantly, what do they have to do in order to get access to the airdrop? So that's important.
Yeah. So Cub DeFi is, it started its life back in March 2021, and we launched it in this craze of DeFi where Binance Smart Chain had just come out, and people were building these apps, and they're called yield farming apps. And there was Goose DeFi, Pancake Swap, all sorts of other apps that came out. 99% of them failed over the last year. They inflated themselves into nothingness. And
that's like
just
the
a
US
handful
dollar.
of right, exactly, like an accelerated US dollar. And these days there's a handful of those original apps that have stuck around. Pancake Swap, obviously, and Cub is one of them. And the way we stuck around was by basically completely revamping the entire idea behind the platform, which started out as a yield farming app, and now it's turned into a yield optimizer. So a yield optimizer means that we use other platforms to earn yield and bring it back into our own platform. And that we call that kingdoms, where it's called cross-platform composable auto compounding, which is basically just a fancy way of saying it's a fancy way of saying that we've got smart contracts where users can deposit capital. You know, it can be BNB, BUSD, Cake, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Cub. Users can deposit that capital, and then that capital is via smart contract, all autonomous. It's pooled on other platforms, and it earns their yield farming rewards, and then auto compounds it back into our platform through those vaults.
Nice.
And the users earn yield, and then the platform takes a 10% cut of that yield, and it buys and burns Cub. So it's created this. We basically created this sustainable model for Cub where the price is relatively stable, and as that TVL grows, which is total value locked, which is basically like if you think of a hedge fund, it's like AUM, right? Assets under management. Same idea. As we build that TVL, Cub continually gets burned and the token gets more stable. So we've migrated from yield farming to yield optimization, and Polycub is kind of the third iteration of that, where we've built a yield optimizer that also has, you know, features of other major DeFi platforms like Curve, like OHM, and these platforms that have done really well in terms of mechanics. So we've kind of merged the best of both worlds. And that is technically called DeFi 2.0, which is centered around protocol and liquidity. And the second part of that question, you know, how do you get the airdrop? It's you basically just buy Cub, you stake it in either the Cub Kingdom or you stake it in one of the 2 Cub farms. So there's 3 locations to get the airdrop. And then there's also an airdrop page. So once you've staked Cub, you can go to this airdrop page and it'll tell you what your pending airdrop is.
So awesome.
Figuring out, amazing, right? Figuring out
awesome.
how to get your US dollars onto the DeFi platform. That's like a whole process. And Mitch Jorsky, I know you've got training you've been doing. I know alchemistnation.com has some trainings that you've created for onboarding into LeoFinance, for getting access to it. And you've also created knowing what the heck Bitcoin is, like Scaredy Cat Guides, knowing what the heck Bitcoin is. Can we expect some training around, onboarding people taking US dollars into these DeFi platforms? Is there something that you would be putting out there soon, or maybe a live call maybe this week?
Of course there is.
When, Mitch? When?
Yeah, when in the Sooniverse.
Revenge. Finally gets to say, Cal finally gets to say when back to
Yes.
That was quite fortuitous. Of course, I mean, if people need it, I got it. So, obviously I've done a DeFi masterclass for some people if they want that hardcore one-on-one attention, and they got a good chunk of money that they want to put to work, because those yields on the DeFi sites are quite nice. They outpace anything you can do with traditional finance or even with real estate. And, we're all real estate investors, and DeFi beats that, and it's a lot more liquid. There it is. Good old real estate.
It's the building.
But yeah, and I mean, I can certainly do a call where we talk about, just what it is. And then anyone that wants to actually jump in, then can kind of just do a course with me.
Sweet. You're putting it in the chat or some link or something like that.
Yeah, so we'll go to alchemistnation.com. Go to alchemistnation.com. Check the recent article that Mitch is about to write up and post that he hasn't written up yet. That I'm encouraging him to go right now. And it will be out there saying, hey, here's the link, and probably point back to his 2 crypto classes. Actually, if you go to Alchemist Nation right now and you go to the featured section, I'm pretty sure I have Mitch Jorsky's crypto classes featured at the moment. So anybody who's looking to get into LeoFinance, looking to get into the DeFi space, maybe I'll just give you rights to that article, Mitch, and you can just update with some stuff or links.
Yeah, it's a good starter point for everybody. I mean, there's the how to get on LeoFinance, and there's also the course where I go over the crypto basics, in terms of just understanding what crypto wallets are and what a blockchain is, because, you know, if you're going to get into DeFi, you need to understand how to use crypto wallet, because that's a big piece of it. So if you're buying crypto on whatever it is, Coinbase, crypto.com, you know, regardless of the centralized exchange, you're going to need to send that crypto to your personal crypto wallet to be able to get involved in DeFi, because that's exactly what it is. It's called DeFi for a reason, decentralized finance.
Just so you know, Walter and I both learned from Mitch. So Mitch is the master. We were kind of beta, so definitely check out his course, because that.
Ironically, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from the LeoFinance community. So everything I've taught you guys, I'd say at least half of that I learned from the LeoFinance community.
LeoFinance, nice.
I was checking on LeoFinance. I was looking at the Hive stats, Leo Hive stats, and I've earned over $5,000 on Leo just doing something I do anyway. I'm already blogging. I'm already creating content. I'm already, you know, posting and doing the social media stuff. And to have earned like $5,000 worth of Hive and Leo is like, man, it's just unfair. Like, YouTube has never sent me that cash, right? Facebook has never sent me that cash before. So,
and that's the
beauty. I appreciate you, Mitch, and I appreciate you, Cal, for the platform you created for us.
Yeah, Cal, I did want to point out my kids have it too. I've got Cub farming set up for Jonah and Noah and Samantha, so they're all
nice.
They're all long-term holders.
Family of
farming on Splinterlands too, isn't he?
Say that again.
Isn't Jonah on Splinterlands?
Noah is.
Noah is,
yeah. But cool.
You're getting your kids into crypto, and now all it makes sense. Cal, I know that we've been bouncing the idea of getting you down to the 100 Millionaire Summit. It's coming up in October 21st to 23rd. So mark it on your calendar. We definitely want to see LeoFinance there, see the community, because what you guys are doing, you're the seeking alpha for, you know, crypto, like letting people know like how crypto works. But then you got to speak, you know, authors like me and some other guys on there, like Taskmaster, who are creating really financial focused posts. I'm doing real estate focused posts and personal development. And there's other people in there who are like silver and gold bugs, who I think are absolutely crazy, but love them because they're on the platform. So so LeoFinance.io, if you haven't checked it out, you've got to. If you have questions on how to get started there, go to alchemistnation.com, and Mitch's courses are really, really good videos, really basic ways to get onto the platform. Cal, if there's any one more thing that you want to say about Polycub or why people should get into crypto, we'll give you like 20 seconds. What is your big
and then I got a quick question for Cal after that. So
yeah,
Walter's never getting to his call.
Yeah, just I think the big picture for me is just if you're not in crypto, get into it, because it's if you went to like a California gold rush, this is the equivalent, and it's all digital, and you could be across the world and have access to it. It's the coolest industry I've ever seen, and I've been in it for I don't even know now, 5 or 6 years, and I still learn new stuff every day, so it never gets old.
That's awesome.
Awesome. I love it.
So Cal, my quick question is that phrase that you used, like cross-pollination, whatever the hell you said. Did you ever use that to meet women?
Yeah, no, I'm
about to cross-pollinate blockchains, girl. You ready?
Yeah. That's my.
It's called the HODL gang, baby. Let's get it.
Yeah. I run a cross-blockchain composable yield farming application. You wanna come see how it works?
We'll find out real quick if she's a crypto investor.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So if you want to meet Cal and you want to get more involved in Leo, go get your tickets for the 100 Millionaire Summit. Those tickets are going up in price in 7 days. I apologize, but it's not my fault if you didn't go buy them on time. Early bird special for a reason. For the next month, every 30 days, we're going up 10% on ticket prices. We get closer to the event. Save yourself some money, save me some stress. I got to know who's coming so I can get all those tickets created for everybody, all the badges and the seats, and especially the fancy speakers like Mitch, Mike, Cal, and many others. Rod Cleef has agreed to come. Ken Walls. We're getting Elizabeth from Invest Her will be on the stage, like showing people how to get to the next level. These are millionaires, multimillionaires, and they're investors who are just looking to give back and pay it forward. And they've got some cool platforms. So cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best. Michael Shine, take us out of here, man.
Massive income from passive income, which of course includes cub farming.
Mitch Jorsky, what is your phrase?
Organize and collect.
Awesome. And Cal, thank you so much for your time, man. The point is not to
Thanks,
work, it's to
Cal.
generate income.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the next 100 Millionaires podcast. If you haven't gone to the LeoFinance social media group, you got to go check it out. They are dropping some great knowledge. It's not as big or as expansive as LeoFinance itself, but some of their best content creators are sharing information out there. So thank you, Cal, for what you're doing and for the growth of the community. I'll see you guys in
Thank
there.
you.
Cheers.
Bye, guys. Peace.
Later.